Welcome into the Farzy Show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzetta. The show is presented by Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Hope you guys just had an absolutely gorgeous Tuesday. Sixers get the win by rounding out the road trip. Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid go off in that game. Javon Hargrave gives us a nice little scare yesterday. We'll get into that when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles and pending free agency with all their marquee free agent destined free agent players. That's not good. I want them to stay. Javon Hargrave is one of the top guys. And just 7 hours ago at the time we taped this, so just about 11:17 last night, CD Deuce, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, tweeted out a video that has some people thinking that he's not coming back. So I thought Hargrave, being a defensive lineman, somebody that the Eagles don't mind investing in. If you look at just the $14 million they paid for Fletcher Cox just for this season. And Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who came in and played a hell of a safety spot, having not played that position at the NFL level in his first 3 years in the league. Looking at that, I thought those guys were two shoo-ins to return next year, and now they have us thinking that they might not. We'll get into that conversation. Hey, that's information on Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. That's information on Javon Hargrave. You know who's not tweeting information? Andrew Painter or the Phillies. They're not giving information. Rob Thompson said yesterday that he's got some test results on Andrew Painter. They're still waiting for some more test results in. Test results? I was hoping it was just a little tenderness. Take a week off. See you in a little bit there, young fella. Apparently not. We have a picture from Alex Coffey of Inquirer.com that doesn't give us too much information. Quite frankly, it doesn't even show us whether or not Andrew Painter's right arm is still attached to his body, or if his right elbow is even wrapped or anything like that. So we'll get into all that today, but let's start on the positive note, on the happy note, ladies and gentlemen. 76ers get a great win over Minnesota last night. Now, I say a great win. Now, you beat a team that's 2 games over 500 versus a team that's competing to be the second or number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, as the 76ers are. But last night was pure domination against the T-Wolves. Pure domination, both sides of the court. Joel Embiid dominant, 39 points for himself last night. Tyrese Maxey, 27 points for the Sixers, as he was getting to start running the offense with James Harden sitting the night out with a sore foot. I said going into the game on yesterday's show that I wasn't sure whether or not Joel Embiid was going to play in this game because he had played so hard in the back-to-back, and now you're going to have another opportunity for him to play in a back-to-back. No, thank you. So last night he goes out there. He's still stark for this basketball team, and he puts in 39 points, 22 of which coming in that third quarter. He was on fire. And he was also getting Tyrese Maxey. He was helping him look good as well. Maxey driving, dishing, and they had a lot of success with this. We'll hear from Doc Rivers a little bit later in the show. Little dribble drive penetration from Tyrese Maxey. Little kick out to Joel Embiid, who knocked down the 3. 4 threes for the Sixers big man last night. That is his season high, his career high. I thought he was going to get to the way he was just knocking them down in that third quarter. His career high is 6 in a game. Thought he was going to get to that mark last night. But the Sixers did exactly what they were supposed to do against the Timberwolves. And here's the thing. Sixers going to last night's game, as I mentioned, over their 3 previous games, allowing 135 points per game over their last 3 games. So you would assume that defense would kind of be a big deal, kind of be a focal point for the Sixers in the way they played the game last night. And sure enough, what are we looking at? You hold a team to under 100 points the way they did last night, to just 94 points for the Timberwolves. That was great. Doc Rivers, after the game, talked about how the Sixers were locked in when it came to all things defense. Here's Doc Rivers after the game.
They locked in. I thought the second and third quarter, our defense kind of spurred our offense. You know, we got stops. We got multiple stops. And so that was it. We were able to stretch the lead. So I thought that was the difference in the game, our rebounding, because they are a good offensive rebounding team. They crashed the glass. When we got stops, our transition game, we beat them down the floor. Then I thought, you know, we passed the ball to each other. Like, you know, Tyrese, you know, beginning of the third, we still running an option, him going downhill. If Gobert follows, throw it back. If he doesn't, lay it in. And it was effective.
Hey, you guys remember when Rudy Gobert was good at basketball? Do you guys remember when he was really good at basketball, especially defense? Remember that? 39 points by Joel Embiid last night, and the Sixers were flat out toying with him. That's what Doc Rivers is saying. And if you watch the game, It was a two-man game. It was a two-man game that at certain points of the Harden and Embiid era of them playing together, you were hoping, oh, please develop to this. And here you have Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid already playing at one heck of a level last night. And it was trusting one another. The other thing that I thought was interesting was that you see not only Tyrese Maxey back in the starting lineup. I'm not saying I was the only one campaigning for that. There were certainly other people taking up the good cause, as I was, when it came to getting Tyrese Maxey back in the starting five. It really came to a head after that Boston Celtics game. The game they lost to the Boston Celtics, they blow a 15-point lead. Tyrese Maxey's coming off the bench. He shoots 4 for 10 from the floor, gets you a measly, I believe, 8 points in that game. You need a lot more from Tyrese Maxey in that game. You need a lot more from Tyrese Maxey overall for the young talent that he is. After that game, Joel Embiid pulled him aside, said, yeah, we need you to be aggressive. Like, it's one thing for me and James Harden to go out there and play our game, but we need that third guy. We need that big three type component, and we feel like you could be that big three. So please be aggressive. Maxey acknowledged that after this game. And I give a lot of credit to Kate Scott, who after the game, they're interviewing Tyrese Maxey on NBC Sports Philadelphia, and she asked the question. A lot of people would say, oh, you shy away from this question if you're the home broadcaster, but she said, look, you've been honest. Anytime, for the young kids out there that want to interview athletes, anytime an athlete acknowledges something, that means they put it out in the open already. So they can only be mad at themselves if they don't want to answer a question. Now, I would never expect Tyrese Maxey to take exception to a question. I would expect him to hold himself accountable, take full responsibility for it, and want to address something head on. So Kate Scott asking the question after the game about just being back in the starting five and being comfortable, having his head on right. His mental is great right now. So what's that journey been like from him? And this is what Tyrese Maxey had to say after his 27-point performance last night in the victory over the Timberwolves to round out this road trip.
Yeah, I was after the Boston game in Boston where it was tough on me, man. It was tough on me because, like I said, I played really well at the beginning of this year, new role, new stuff. It's hard. Life is hard. But, after that, I told myself I'd never play like that again with that type of mindset on my mind. And I feel like I've been pretty good ever since. And then Joel and James told me that for us to be as good as we possibly can, I have to be aggressive. I can't be passive. It doesn't matter if I'm on the court with them, if I'm off the court with them. And we're at my best when I'm doing that. So I'm just going to keep trying to do that.
I said it all throughout last year. I said it when Tyrese Maxey was starting games and Joel Embiid wasn't playing because of COVID. I said it all through. This guy he's a great talent. He was the steal of the draft as far as anyone is concerned. When this guy goes out there and plays with confidence and then can match that confidence with guys like Joel Embiid, and then later James Harden joins the team after the Ben Simmons trade, and he plays with that same level of confidence, he can be dangerous. Whether it's his rookie year and him stepping up in that playoff series against the Atlanta Hawks the way that he did, or it's last year taking over for Joel Embiid, or it's finding a way to match talent and skill level with James Harden and Joel Embiid, at least at the very worst of it, finding a way to fit in and pull your own weight. Tyrese Maxey has done that. I talk about mental health all the time with Jalen Hurts, and I've said many times that is something that you wish you could bottle. The mental toughness of a guy like Jalen Hurts, and how if you could bottle it, the sports franchises, sports leagues would ban it as a performance-enhancing substance. But when it comes to Tyrese Maxey, he's not far off that game either. For what he brings to the court, for what he is able to do, not just on the court, but also in the locker room, and keep his confidence high. And yes, he had his struggles, but to come out with the attitude there of, hey, life is hard, and then get over it and play at the level we've seen you play at before like he did last night, that's a great feeling. Now, last night he did it without James Harden on the floor. 2 nights ago, he did it against the Pacers with James Harden on the floor. He is finding ways to help his team win, whether that be the co-star of the show, the second man in, or that be the guy that's just going to be that third man in with James Harden and Joel Embiid. And last night he was the second man in too. Wow, what a performance by Joel Embiid. That performance last night, we talked a lot about Tyrese Maxey there. We'll get to one more thing about him and what he was able to bring to the floor last night and what he was helping the team do. But Joel Embiid was flat out dominant. Flat out dominant. I mentioned a couple of nights ago when we're watching the Sixers play, he was passing up on those really good shots. That Saturday night game against the Milwaukee Bucks, he had plenty of open shots right in the middle of the paint, maybe a step in from the foul line, half a step in. All right. Half a step in from the foul line. He's passing up on these shots, and I thought he was more hurt than we were understanding. When it came to the foot for Joel Embiid, I thought he was more hurt than what we were understanding. He stepped up. He hit the huge three for you at the end of that game, put you in front for good. That was great. But then I was worried after that game that he might have to sit out. Now you have a back-to-back. You're going for the Pacers. You're going to the Minnesota Timberwolves. He might not be playing in this game. Another game where you're not going to see him play against Rudy Gobert, right? He powered through, and not only did he power through knowing that James Harden wasn't going to play. Other years, we might see Joel Embiid sit this game out, but not only did he play after a 40-point performance against the Pacers, he played to the tune of a 39-point performance last night against the Minnesota Timberwolves and was dominant. Blocks in this game, threes in this game, played a great inside game when called upon to do so, and as always, he hit his free throws. This is a guy that I believe is now campaigning for an MVP award the way you should campaign for an MVP award. You haven't heard much from Joel Embiid this year. And I know, Aaron, it's been talked about many times, but ever since he became a father, right, little Arthur, right, ever since he became a father, his focus has shifted. He wants to be a grown-up. He doesn't want to play the child's games anymore. He doesn't want to be on social media doing all that funny stuff. Every once in a while, he'll let a tweet out that is just hilarious, and we'll all laugh or we'll enjoy it. But it's all about what he's doing on the court right now. The focus from Joel Embiid at this present time, I have never seen higher because I don't hear anything about the MVP award. And some might say, oh, it's because Jokic has got it locked up. Jokic is incredible. Jokic is just having such a great year. And you're looking at the number one seed in the Denver Nuggets for what he's bringing to the table. Oh, he's untouched. Don't even bother about talking about anybody else that has a chance at winning the MVP award. Well, last night, Daryl Morey took to Twitter. Not Joel Embiid. And Daryl Morey was flat out, he was doing the campaigning for his big man in Joel Embiid. He put out a GIF yesterday of NBA voters when they don't know, MVP voters when they don't know, oh, well, how do you vote for a guy that's not Jokic? I don't know. And it had a little kid sitting there with the toy trying to put the square peg in the round hole, taking the lid off because they couldn't figure it out, and then putting the square peg in the box. Those are the MVP voters in the eyes of your general manager, Daryl Morey. He also was tweeting a little bit more about Joel Embiid and what he brings to the table and that he's the MVP of the league. Hey, if Daryl Morey is going to start that campaign, great. Joel Embiid, I think, is taking care of business enough on the court. Another leading scorer type of season from him. It is weird, and this is the thing that has just hit my ears weird when I was having this conversation the other day. The thing that's so crazy about a back-to-back MVP center in the NBA in the modern era is that the best center in the league, I believe, is Joel Embiid. If he is the best center in the NBA and a center is winning the MVP award in the NBA, then shouldn't that be Joel Embiid? Somehow, magically, it's not. It's by all the algorithms, analytics, all that, whatever. People just like, oh, Jokic is incredible. Look what he does with all those assists. Yeah, I like the guy that actually takes the ball and scores. I like the guy that puts the onus on himself to carry his team. Not the guy that's like, and you shoot it. No, I'll take control of that. That's Joel Embiid. And that's who we have seen the last two nights. That's who we saw against the Milwaukee Bucks. Even though he didn't have his strongest game, still, 32 points he finished up with in that one. And really, it was like he was passing up on a lot of those shots that I mentioned earlier. He was and still has been dominant this year. And it feels like as the season has gone on, and this is something that is the most remarkable thing about Joel Embiid this year has been that I have never seen him improve as the season has gone on the way I've seen Joel Embiid improve this season. As the year's gone on, he's only gotten better. He hasn't gotten sluggish. He hasn't gotten tired. He hasn't gotten cooked, whatever it is. At this point in the year, sometimes we're used to some fatigue setting in. We haven't seen that with Joel Embiid this year. We have seen him get better and better and better. And maybe that's because guys like Tyrese Maxey are starting to click. Maybe that's because you're having what seems like a career year from James Harden, post-MVP years with James Harden. That's how well he's playing. But all these things coming together, the bench help that you have had, guys stepping up when they've needed to step up, Paul Reed stepping up at times this season to spell him a couple of minutes, whatever it's been, you have seen Joel Embiid continue to get stronger as this year has gone on. And I can't remember another season where we were able to say that with such confidence about the guy that should be the MVP of the league in Joel Embiid. If he finishes this season, all right, if he finishes this season by being able to propel this Sixers team into the second playoff seed, which is it's definitely possible, or maybe the number 1 seed by the time the season lets out, then I think it's a lock for Joel Embiid. And I know people want to talk about voter fatigue, and they want to say they could throw that out the window. I think it's time. And if he's able to get this Sixers team up there to the number 2 spot, if he's able to get them up there to the number 1, I think it'll be an absolute lock for Joel Embiid last night. But looking around the rest of that box score last night from the 117-94 win over the Minnesota Timberwolves, PJ Tucker, no points last night, 22 minutes played. He made his return. Tobias Harris made his return last night. He had 10 points. 6 of those came from the free throw line. Joel Embiid, 9 for 9 from the charity stripe. Tyrese Maxey was 5 for 5, and DeAnthony Melton was 3 for 5 from beyond the arc, and he came up with 11 points for the Sixers. Jalen McDaniels, hope you're all right, brother. 5 points last night off the bench. George Niang had 8. Small contributions from the bench players last night. Sixers will be back at it Friday night against the Matisse Thybulle-led Portland Trailblazers. 7 o'clock start. What the hell? 7 o'clock start time. I'll actually be down there for that game, so I look forward to that. I want to get this to you from Tyrese Maxey. I let you hear about his own struggles. Here he is. You heard earlier our man Doc Rivers talking about how defense wasn't really a big thing for the Sixers in recent games. This time it was. Doc Rivers wasn't the only one talking defense. Last night, Tyrese Maxey barely wanted to touch on it, but he did touch on it. Here he is. Tyrese Maxey talking about how the team stepped up defensively.
That was big time 4-on-1 road trip, 2 back-to-backs, 2 tough back-to-backs where you go from Eastern time to Central time. So that's difficult always, but we persevered. Guys sat out, big fella sat out at the beginning of this trip. Jay sat out, got some well-deserved rest at the end of this trip. So guys stepped up, guys played hard, and 4-on-1, we'll take it.
4-1 on the. Sorry, that was about the road trip. Later on, during his post-game interview, he was asked about the defense and said, "Yes, we were tired. We had a lot of issues going on here when it came to the travel, and it was a tough road trip against tough teams and a tough part of the schedule, the toughest in the NBA. But we found a way to persevere and we found a way to win, which is always what you want to see from your basketball squad." I wanted to make sure I got this to you guys for the standings, but the Sixers right now, the Bucks are 4 games up on the Sixers for first place. They're 2.5 games up on the Celtics for first place. So right now the seedings go Bucks, Celtics, Sixers. That's what you're looking at right now. Sixers, a game and a half behind Boston, who has now lost 3 in a row, while the Sixers have won 3 in a row. So let's keep that going. Pretty remarkable last night's game and what you were able to watch from the Sixers squad and what they were able to do consistently. How about this? This number got posted during last night's game. Most 40-point games, and he almost had another one last night, Joel Embiid. Like I mentioned, 39 points for him. Most 40-point games since the 2018-2019 season. James Harden leads it off at 52. Dame Lillard has 38. Joel Embiid is third with 36. So you have 2 of the top 3 40-point scorers since the 2018-2019 season in your starting 5, and Joel Embiid and James Harden. That's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. Giannis has 35. Steph Curry, people, only has 30. He's got 2-time MVP. Come on. Steph Curry lagging there with 30. Come on. So that's where we're at right now with the 76ers, and hopefully they just keep this rolling. Hopefully they just keep this going. I'm not moving to football yet. I gotta talk about this. Let me just looking at PJ. PJ, how are you? Are you okay? Just thumbs up, thumbs out if you're all right. You don't know. Okay. Just thumbs up, thumbs out. Can you see Andrew Painter's right arm in this picture? No, you can't. You know what? For the people on the podcast, I'm pulling up the picture of Alex Coffey took of Inquirer.com of Andrew Painter yesterday with the caption, "Painter is here," meaning it's spring training, okay? Still there. No update from the Phillies yet, but Scott Boras, oh God, every time I see his name, I cringe. Because I just think, oh my God, we're going to lose so much money. Anyway, I have extensive studies on young pitchers with extreme velocity at young ages. Andrew is aware and understands his development requires great attention and patience, so his rare skill extends throughout a long MLB career. So 2 days ago, we had a report from Todd Zalecki talking about how the Phillies are not concerned about the long-term health of Andrew Painter. Okay. Is he pitching this year? Is he pitching opening day? Is he not opening day? Is he pitching in the opening week of the season? When is Andrew Painter pitching? When is he going to be? Is he going to pitch again in the Grapefruit League? Does he have to start in the minors when the season starts? What is going on with Andrew Painter? Stop making me lose my damn mind. What is happening with this young man? Goes out there, pops the minute 99 miles per hour, allows a couple of hits, a walk, whatever. I don't care. Let me see him. How's he doing? If I'm going to take away anything from this quote from Scott Boras, the line about Andrew is aware and understands his development that requires great attention and patience. Does that just means an abundance of caution, right? All I need to hear, as I said for you guys last week, all I need that would make me feel a lot better about life. All I need. I don't think this has to do all I need. Yeah, out of an abundance of caution, we're just going to take it easy with him for Andrew Painter. We're not worried about him starting the season on the roster. We think he'll start the season on the roster. But as of right now, we're just abundance of caution after a little tenderness in that elbow. So we're just going to just abundance of caution. That's it. That's all I need to hear. The famous abundance of caution. But instead, I get pictures with Andrew Painter and his right arm. Where is his? Here's the question. Where is Andrew Painter's right arm? Because I can't confirm or deny whether or not it's there. Is that a lab alone? Is his elbow wrapped? Where is it? Let me at least see it. And who is he talking to? I don't even know who he's talking to. Is that Ed Wade? That looks like Ed Wade on the far left. Now, Ed Wade's hair might be a little bit more salt and pepper nowadays. It could be Ed Wade. One thing I will say about Ed Wade is that that man's pants are too low to be Ed Wade. Ed Wade usually rocked the pants a little high. Where's the flood? You know what I'm saying? So maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I didn't notice that until just now. Not the pants, the fact but whether or not it was Ed Wade. But I just need a little, please, just a little bit of encouragement from the Phillies about Andrew Painter's status. I tell you all that just to tell you I haven't heard anything. Pretty much. All right. I didn't want to have to do this to you guys, but we got to do it. Here's a tweet that came out yesterday from our man Javon Hargrave, Mr. 11 sacks last season, tied with Brandon Graham for second on the team last year. 30 years old, bound to hit free agency. Free agency starts in 1 week. Javon Hargrave takes to Twitter to say 1 week away. Emoji, if you guys can picture that. And then the crying emoji. And not even the crying laughing emoji, just the crying emoji. What the hell does that mean? 1 week away? Please tell me this deal has already worked out. We don't have to worry about you playing on anybody else's defensive line. Please tell me that. Because I don't want to be an offensive defensive line there that it only has no Fletcher Cox. Don't have Javon Hargrave. Now it's just Jordan Davis. What am I doing with that? I love Milt Williams, friend of the show, side note. But what are we going to do if this team – look, I'm looking forward to the draft and all that stuff. And starting next week, we'll really take a deep dive in the draft and all that stuff. But right now, I'd love to know that your veterans are going to be coming back. I would love to know that Javon Hargrave, after the season that he put together, is going to come back. I would love to know that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, that actually put out a tweet earlier in the day – late last night, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson goes out there and he puts out a tweet, and I want to make sure I read this to you guys because I got to be honest, and it does have me a little on the freaked out side. Whether or not Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is just going to flee after this season because he put out this video, and I can't play the video because it's got a song attached to it, so I'd immediately get taken off the stratosphere of the internet. But last night, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson put out a video that was like, hey, thanks, everybody. You guys are all great. Thank you. And I thought, that's not helpful for anybody. What is going on? And now I can't find the tweet. I want to make sure I read you the right thing. I thought I had it in my notes. I do not, because I'm a big fat idiot. But it definitely put shockwaves up my spine when it came to Chauncey got all love Philly. That's what he has with a green heart and the eagle emoji. Okay. That's what he put out there. All love Philly. The other thing, and this is coming to us for our friends at PHL Sports Nation, CD Deuce puts out there on Instagram, I believe it is, all love Philly, puts the same thing out there as well, same video. And then you see Darius Slay respond by saying, dog. Then you see AJ Brown responding by saying, take care of your family, bruh. You deserve it. So Javon Hargrave, who is 30 years old, looks like he could be making $20 million per year, estimated around a $60 million contract. And that's where we're at right now. I know I just read it to you guys, but for the people here, I'm going to see if I can't get this up so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about here. This is insane. I just saw this part of it. I didn't see this before. But credit to our friends over there at PHL Sports Nation who put this out as well. It is no bueno. I'll just say that. Let me see if I can get this up for you guys. I'm producing right now. Oh my God. Hold on to your seats, everybody. CJGJ this. Let's see what happens here. Let's see if I can do this, because this is oh my God, actually, I think I did it. Did I do it? Oh my God, ladies. Somebody's a producer. Here it is. CD Deuce, all love Philly. This was not 40 minutes ago. This was last night. Darius Slay, Kayvon Wallace. Kayvon Wallace chimed in. AJ Brown. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. That's where we're at right now. So how are you guys doing? So here is Javon Hargrave, 1 week away from every team in the NFL flirting with him. And then here we are with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and him putting himself out there as well. This is great. This is fun. We're all great. This is fun. Man. Suddenly the Andrew Painter thing doesn't have me as worried. This is what you call instant reaction, folks. And now I'm going to be losing my mind over this. You know, Marcus Hayes, who we're going to get on the show in the near future here. Actually, I was trying to get Marcus on yesterday, and he was dadding hard. We've been there. We've all been there. But he put out a story, and I talked about it on the show, about a mutiny possibly happening if you didn't promote Denard Wilson. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, whatever was going on between him and Denard Wilson, who, by the way, got hired by the Baltimore Ravens already in the same title and the same role that he was here in Philadelphia. This is the beginnings of a mutiny if the mutiny was going to happen. You guys didn't hire the guy that I really liked. You guys didn't hire the guy, and I mentioned this yesterday, 2 days ago. You guys didn't promote the guy that took me as a nickel corner in the NFL and made me into a safety. Okay. Great. Thanks a lot. I'll take my business elsewhere. Because I ended up putting up a career year at this new position. I ended up being a co-leader in the NFL in interceptions. Nobody in the NFL had more interceptions than me. And when it came to the Super Bowl, I was the guy on the defense in the second half actually making plays. Now, those numbers were few and far between. So, yeah, he was easy to pick out. And you guys want to go ahead and take my secondary coach away? Okay. Yeah, I think I'm done here. I could see that playing out. It doesn't mean I like it. Certainly doesn't mean I'm rooting for it. But when I see that right there, all love Philly, somebody was told very late last night that it wasn't looking good. That's what it makes me feel. That's what I think. If I'm reading that situation, I don't think he's just playing hardball. I don't think he's taking to social media for that kind of attention. I think he'll take attention for a guy like Jonathan Gannon. And the other thing that passes through my mind right now is maybe the reason Chauncey Gardner-Johnson came out with, bursting through the saloon doors after the Super Bowl when you saw the quote tweet from Elliott Shore-Parks about Jonathan Gannon talking about struggles in the second half of the Super Bowl as Gannon was doing his press conference as the new head coach of the Arizona Cardinals from the Combine in Indianapolis. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson quotes that tweet saying, because you didn't put us in good position. Did he say that knowing he wasn't going to be back already, or at least having a good feeling he wasn't going to come back? Did he say that because maybe his guy, Denard Wilson, maybe he was making suggestions that Jonathan Gannon didn't want to hear? All that speculation, all that's reading into the situation. But in trying to make out something that makes sense, at least the least bit of sense when trying to read into this, that's just what I'm trying to do right now. And those are all, I think, plausible. I don't think they're definite, but they're at least plausible. Those scenarios that I just laid out for you. Maybe he already knew that he was gone. And that's why he just came out and was like, Gannon sucks. I'm not here anyway. What do I care? And then, boy. Yep, all love Philly. Yep, hey, I love Philly too. What do you know? And now, hold on. On this, it showed up as a black heart. What the hell's that about? Twitter, it showed up as a green heart. The green heart seems nicer. Anyway, let me tell you about the great people at Steven Singer. Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right there on Jewelers Row. Ladies and gentlemen, for over 40 years, Steven Singer has been in the love business in Philadelphia, helping people get engaged and fall in love. Go to the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right there on Jewelers Row. And if you're looking to get engaged, Steven Singer has Ready for Love diamond engagement ring standing by at the ready. So they're not just a clever name. Go to Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, the perfect price online at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. How about the amazing people at Manscaped? Manscaped.com. The leader in below-the-waist grooming. Join 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and their skin-safe technology that helps reduce the risk of nicks so you can manscape with confidence and comfort. Their Platinum Package 4.0 is something you'll absolutely have to get. You get 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code FARZI. It includes their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer and their Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, and they come with skin-safe technology that helps reduce the risk of nicks. So, again, you can manscape with confidence and comfort. Go to manscaped.com. Manscaped.com. Use promo code FARZI. How about the amazing people at Freestone Farm CBD? FreestoneFarmCBD.com. If you like CBD, if you use CBD, if you want to switch up to a different CBD, try Freestone Farm CBD at FreestoneFarmCBD.com. They grow all their premium hemp flower in the Garden State, right over there in a little place called New Jersey. So enjoy. Freestone Farm CBD. You'll love their tropical tasting Bay Oxycloxone at a chart-topping 24.1%, and Super CBD, which is half Hindu, Kush, and 21%. Genetics and these guys are off the charts. So try Freestone Farm CBD, FreestoneFarmCBD.com. How about PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. And then let's jump into the chat check, see how you beautiful people are doing on this fine Wednesday morning. Kevin, good morning. Mally, what's up, Mally? King DV Sports, what's up there, King? Sean Gillespie, what's going on? Sean Gillespie, that's why I love Maxey. How could you not love Maxey? You know what I'm saying? So damn lovable. Tyrese Maxey, co-star of the Cure auto insurance commercial with my brother. True story. True story. For those that already know, you know. For those that don't, the answer? That's my brother. April, morning to everybody. Good morning, April. Mike Fuji. Good morning, folks. Happy hump day. And a happy hump day to you, Mr. Fuji. Good morning to a man who always make Mark look like an OnlyFans model, PJ. Oh, Mally, you shouldn't have. This shirt is, I think, my most appropriate cleavage shirt. What did you say, PJ? This one, the kids can watch this show. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not, like one of them TikTok models. You know what I'm saying? Just letting it all hang out all the damn day. Or in this case, OnlyFans. At least not yet. Eh? Anyway. April, what's happening here? Sean agreed last year, definitely this year to win it. Wait, are you talking about my OnlyFans page? What's going on here? Mally, Joel has 25 30-point games this season. All the centers combined, 15. That's no bueno. Mihai Sanchez. What's up, Mihai? Morning, Mark, and everyone. Another great Sixers win. Still not excited yet until hopefully after we advance past the second round. Well, now hold the phone, Mihai. Okay? Hold the phone. All right, here's where we're at. Let me see if I can pull this into focus for just a second here. Okay, the Sixers, beep, boop, bop, beep, boop, boop, bop. Sixers is the Grizzlies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So the 26 games after the All-Star break that I've referenced so many times on the show already. 26 games. Let me write down my new math. 26 games. They're 5-3 in those 26 games against the toughest schedule in the NBA post All-Star break. All right, so they got a winning record against those squads. And I think that'll continue with the win over the Portland Trailblazers on Friday night. That'll be attended for. So all that's great. If you haven't paid attention, Dame Lillard's still incredible. 32 points per game, 32.4 points per game, actually. He's just behind Joel Embiid for most of the NBA. But the other thing is that they're also 3 games under 500, and they don't scare me like they used to scare me. And yes, you can have any team get hot at the right moment, whatever. But this Sixers team, I feel like, will only continue to push as the season goes on. Last night, they got to 21 games over 500. It's not even a factor anymore thinking about that like other NBA teams are. But excuse me, they're 43-22. They have been an absolute dominant team this year. They struggle against one team. And I was thinking about this after the win last night because they rounded out the road trip 4-1, and that's great. But the bottom line is, when you watch this team play, they can beat anybody else in the NBA, and I have confidence that they can do that. They'll struggle against the Bucks. It'll be a tough series against the Bucks. If they pull the Boston Celtics, that's a wrap. That's how it feels right now. It feels like the Phillies needed to get the monkey off their back when it came to the Marlins, okay? The only difference here is that the Celtics are not the Marlins. The Celtics are actually a really damn good team. So it's not a matter of playing down to an opponent. It's just that another team has your number. One of the other top 3 teams in the NBA has your number, and that's what the Boston Celtics have right now, unfortunately. For me, this road trip and the win over the Bucks, the way they won over the Bucks, the way they were able to hold on and beat the Pacers and dominate when they needed to dominate, get defensive stops, at least when they needed defensive stops, in the few defensive stops that they got in that game against the Pacers. Getting this win over a team, a dominant win without James Harden. Actually getting the win over the Pacers without 2 of your 5 starters. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty damn good. Jalen McDaniels was a starter against the Pacers, all right? Then last night you play with still recovering, it looked like, P.J. Tucker and Tobias Harris, even though Tobias looked okay last night. And then you see a guy like James Harden sit out, and the Sixers still come up with a huge dominant win. I mean, they did. I don't think this gets said enough in sports. Doing what you're supposed to do. Oh, they beat the Timberwolves. Yeah, you're damn right. They beat the brakes off the Timberwolves. They did exactly what they're supposed to. They didn't play a close game down to the wire. The defensive blows didn't continue. And Anthony Edwards got his, sure, but everybody else kept in check. So I'm very encouraged by what I have seen on this road trip from the Sixers, and hopefully they keep it going as the year goes on. They got the Timberwolves. They got the Trailblazers coming up on Friday, as I mentioned. And then they got the Wizards win. Then they got Cleveland, another tough one. That's a 7:30 game. That'll be Wednesday night at Cleveland. Cleveland at Charlotte, at Indy again. So it's gets a little bit easier for the Sixers, as you would assume, as the time goes on here. So Mihai, here's where I'm at. If they don't face the Celtics in the second round, Eastern Conference. They go to the Eastern Conference. I wouldn't have said that at the All-Star break. Beating the Bucks and the way they beat the Bucks makes me feel a lot better about it. Mally, PJ and Tobias are going to make me become an alcoholic. 10 points combined. Yeah, that wasn't good. But I don't think they're 100%. Jerry Bando. Yo, Fars. Yo, Jerry. Bandy? No? Okay. Anyway. Mally, for one sec, I thought that was a pic of PJ. I mean, he is 8'3". Thought that was Mark in the gray hoodie before he shaves his head. That's hilarious. Wait, who is in the gray hoodie? Mally, you be nice. You be nice. Whoops. Oh, that's Javon Hargrave too again. All right. Stop pushing buttons, Farzad. I thought it was only football, yet out of my head. What? I refuse to think about NFL football yet. Out of my head. Sorry, Sean. It's coming up, buddy. Wait, ESP is still alive? Damn, learn something new every day. I love Elliot. Elliot's great. As an Eagles fan, go Danny Dimes. No NFL. Don't. How about, what was it? Was it the transition tag? Whatever, they franchise tagged Lamar Jackson. I forget the proper title of the franchise tag that they gave him, but it's basically a tag that allows him to negotiate with other teams. But the Ravens, God, what a slight if you're the Ravens. Hey, yeah, I guess we'll still have you, but we're not going to sign you to a long-term deal. So go negotiate with other teams. But as of right now, you're going to get franchise tagged, but you have the right to negotiate with other teams. Yeah, let's get married, but we'll still not be married. Huh? Yeah, this is the way we're going right now. It's pretty flippin' bonkers. Oh, PJ, you mentioned Lamar Jackson. There you are. I'm sorry. $32.5 million. You know, that's not a bad day at the office. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are great as per usual. Flyers, let's get in the morning rush. Brought to you by Sky Motor Cars, skymotorcars.com. Flyers, they're back in action tomorrow night, I believe it is. They had an unfortunate loss last night against the Tampa Bay Lightning. They lost 5-2. Flyers, yes, they are back at it in Carolina against the Hurricanes tomorrow at 7 o'clock. That's what's happened. I actually talked Flyers. Somebody stopped me. I was out and about yesterday picking up little toots from school. And somebody said, hey, I hadn't heard this in a long time. What do you think about the Flyers? And I was like, you know what, man? Here's the thing. And I never thought in my life I'd say this. I don't really think about the Flyers. Love them to pieces. Hope they turn it around tomorrow, you know? But it's directionless hockey right now. I like John Tortorella. I want to believe Carter Hart's the real deal. All that. I want to see the production. I want to see the proof in the pudding. But now that you have me thinking about the Flyers, it's reminding me of how much I don't think about the Flyers. So that's what I think about the Flyers. And he was like, okay, yeah, I'm kind of there too. Lifelong season ticket holder. Okay, sorry, man. Sorry, brother. But they're back at it tomorrow against Carolina Hurricanes. So that's what you got there. Sixers, I've mentioned enough right there. And free agency, we'll see if we get any more news between now and tomorrow with Andrew Painter. And we will also see if we get any more news on Javon Hargrave as well as Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Maybe the mutiny is taking effect. Maybe it's actually happening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show, presented by my man Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, the perfect price online at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. Be back with you guys tomorrow. Have a good day. See you guys. Bye.